Well, Ched Evans always did and continues to protest his innocence and deny his guilt on those rape allegations. His case is now being reviewed by the Criminal Cases Review Board to see whether there are any grounds for it to go to an appeal. But that decision-making process will stretch over many weeks, possibly many months. Maybe before that decision has been made, though, a decision will be made here at Boundary Park as to whether this most controversial footballer will be signing up and joining the Latics. Back to you.
Our chief reporter Dave Guest there at Oldham's Boundary Park. Thank you.
Well, we're joined now by Dr. Kate Cook, a senior lecturer at Manchester Metropolitan University, who's also set up the Trafford Rape Crisis Centre. Thank you very much for coming in.
Good evening.
We can only assume, we don't know what's happening in that board meeting, but we can only assume that Oldham Athletic are perhaps having a difficult decision to make. But you think the decision is quite simple, do you?
I do, I think, yes. He has been convicted of a serious offence. He served some time in prison. But he hasn't accepted that he's guilty. In fact, as Dave has just said, he's still pursuing an appeal, which of course he has a legal right to do. But bearing all that in mind, it's not appropriate, I don't think, for him to be appearing for a top-flight football club.
But he isn't by any means the first high-profile footballer to commit an offence, be convicted, come out and then be able to play again. So why should he be treated differently?
Well, I think, as I say, he hasn't accepted his guilt, he hasn't apologised, it isn't over yet, is it?
But he would say
still
that's
ongoing.
because he hasn't done it and he's appealing. So if he apologised, it would be like admitting his
That's
guilt.
right. No, so
it's a catch-22 for him, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes. But so the thing to do is to just be quiet and wait a little while, maybe. As Dave said, the wheels of justice do wax slow, but they will finish. This will come to a conclusion. And in the meantime, this isn't an appropriate person to be a role model to young people, to be a sporting hero in Greater Manchester. We can do better than this in Greater Manchester.
I mean, many people may disagree, but do you think that footballers still are role models when we look at perhaps some of the behaviour that we've seen, not necessarily from footballers that have been convicted of anything, just moral behaviour? Do we really need to hold them up as people now that people should look towards?
Well, I don't know that they're my choice of role model, but I know that a lot of children admire footballers. A lot of children have pictures of football teams on their bedroom walls. So we wouldn't really want, I certainly wouldn't want Ched Evans' picture in a football team picture on the bedroom wall of a little child at the moment, because it doesn't seem appropriate.
Do you think he should and could ever play again?
I think we have to wait and see what happens.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, I think we have to wait and see what happens. And in the meantime, I want us to keep the victim in our minds and to think about the women who experience rape and the terrible cost that rape has on women's lives.
Of course. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.